Battlefield has been one of those franchises that you can always kind of rely on when it comes out. There's always going to be maybe a little bit of some controversy with it, but when it releases, it always is one of the top first-person shooters that you'll get that particular year. And even, as far as the community is concerned around Battlefield, it's very strong. And it's kind of like, a Call of Duty, franchise, except not the yearly game. But Call of Duty and Battlefield have really turned into this Star Wars versus Star Trek type of ordeal where you're basically a Call of Duty fan or a Battlefield fan. Nonetheless, I think both of these games and franchises can certainly coexist, and they have now for a while. But the question is which one is going to kind of be, on top as time goes, and where at this point is Battlefield 6? Because I think a lot of people in the Battlefield community are really anticipating and excited about the next addition to the franchise, because from Battlefield 1, which a lot of the Call of Duty community went over to Battlefield 1 because they didn't want to play Infinite Warfare that year. Battlefield 1 got a surge, of course, as far as, how many, the total amount of players and things of that nature. But then with Battlefield 5, when that came out, there was a lot of controversy around it, and also people just didn't really want to go ahead and kind of, they already had done World War I, they didn't really want to do World War II right, back to back, so a lot of people came back to Call of Duty from the Call of Duty community to start playing Black Ops 4, and of course, and then into Modern Warfare, and so on and so forth. So, here's the thing, is Battlefield 6, guys, it has been pretty much confirmed at this point, but where is it and when can we expect it? Let's talk about it. So an article that was written by Polygon, the next Battlefield game is coming either 2021 or early 2022, Electronic Arts announced during an investor call Tuesday. The next big game from EA DICE will ship during EA's 2022 fiscal year, which runs from April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2022. And EA will instead focus on another game, Respawn Entertainment's Apex Legends, as its marquee shooter in 2020. Apex Legends will expand next year onto new platforms, including mobile, and EA will push the game into China, the company said. EA added that it's keeping Respawn hyper-focused on Apex Legends, and when asked about the possibility of Titanfall 3, Chief Financial Officer Blake Jorgensen said he couldn't confirm anything, but added, "We won't forget about Titanfall." So, here's the thing, guys. We're going to be getting a Battlefield game, but it's going to probably be early 2022 is when it's going to be released. And I would assume we're going to start maybe seeing somewhat of more of an announcement in 2020 this year for Battlefield 5. And then 2021, we're going to get a lot more information, of course. And then, of course, early 2022 is when the game will probably release. Battlefield developer DICE has been on an annual cycle of delivering new Battlefield and Star Wars Battlefront games since 2013. But it sounds like the developer will continue to support 2017 Star Wars Battlefront 2 and 2018's Battlefield 5 for the time being. EA CEO Andrew Wilson said the publisher also wants to give next-generation platforms, presumably meaning PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, time to build and install base and see a strong 2 years of growth before launching the next Battlefield. Wilson added that DICE's next shooter, presumably titled Battlefield 6, will be driven by live service offerings, will be cutting edge, and will do things in multiplayer, social, and competition that are new to the Battlefield franchise. So, let's just talk about that. What they're saying there is that Battlefield 6 will be driven by live service offerings, be cutting edge, and will do things in multiplayer, social, and competition that are new to the Battlefield franchise. So one thing that I think that kind of tells me is that, well, from competition standpoint, that sounds like esports. That sounds like they're really going to take a plunge into esports with Battlefield, which is something that this series has lacked for quite some time, and not having any type of real competitive scene for the most part. And I think that would be a really good move for Battlefield to move in that direction. Start getting a competitive scene going, because I think it's just untapped potential for Battlefield to not do that. And it has a very solid fan base. A lot of people, I'm sure, would absolutely love seeing a competitive scene in Battlefield, that being like a competitive circuit and things of that nature, which of course Apex Legends has at this point. And I just think, why not Battlefield at this point? But that's where we're at right now, guys, with Battlefield. I think the thing is that Battlefield, I don't think it's like in some limbo state at this point, but I think, you know, as far as where is Battlefield 6 at this point, I think that it's within development. And I would assume, I think where they need to go, the direction they need to go in, is more futuristic. Not so much like really far in the future, but I think modern day to slightly futuristic is where they need to go with Battlefield 6, in my personal opinion. I think that would be awesome. I would love to see them kind of take, you know, from Battlefield 3 and kind of continue onwards kind of in that time zone, as far as in that time period. And I think with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, it was kind of modern warfare, right? So I think Battlefield 6 should be a little bit in the future, not like super far in the future, but a little bit futuristic. I think that would be a really good take for Battlefield, just to give that a try, like more futuristic. And I think that it could be really gritty, even being somewhat of a futuristic game, because I think people playing Battlefield are probably getting kind of sick of playing World War I and World War II. Those are two, I mean, periods of time that are, you know, very significant to, you know, our culture and all of that, and, you know, our history. However, I think that it's been done so much in movies and gaming and, you know, all over different types of media. I think that a more futuristic Battlefield game would really do well and could be absolutely huge for the Battlefield franchise. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about Battlefield 6? And I know you got to wait a little bit longer, obviously. When I say a little, you're going to have to wait about a year to 2 more years until it releases. But I think it's going to be worth the wait, guys. Let me know what you guys want to see most in Battlefield 6 in the comment section below. And for more Battlefield 6 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.